Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie and today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can achieve a flawless self-tan on a budget. If you are a beginner, this is going to be a great, helpful video for you. I will be going over every single product that you need, and all of the products that I mentioned in this video are extremely affordable, and they honestly all equal up to be the same price as one bottle of self-tanning mousse. That is something that they don't tell you in the self-tanning videos, is how much you're actually going to spend for every single thing that you need. I mean, I'm literally going all the way from like your razor all the way up to the actual self-tanning mousse that you need, and even like your moisturizers. There are a lot of things you need to know about every single product, and I'm going to explain that to you in this video. I'm going to go step by step as to where you need to start and how to do each of those steps. The total of all of the products that you need to help prep your skin and to actually tan your skin and to maintain your tan equals to about $40. I'll give you an exact amount at the end of the video on the screen. That is the same price as one bottle of Loving Tan self-tanning mousse. These products are going to last you and give you multiple uses. You don't have to spend a fortune to get a beautiful self-tan. So let's go ahead and get started. The first step that you're going to need to do is to shave. So you need a razor, and I use men's razors. This is the Schick Hydro 5, I believe, and it's a little more spendy than women's razors. You can get a razor for like $1, I'm sure, at Dollar Tree, and that would work fine. So if you can't afford this razor, then that's okay. The reason that I like a men's razor is just because it gives you a closer shave. This razor I think is about $9 for the actual razor, and then 3 replacer razor heads. So that's a pretty good deal, and one razor head will last you quite a while. So once you have shaved, whether it be your legs and your arms or just your legs, I only shave my legs, then the next thing that you're going to want to do is obviously to wash your body. Now when you wash your body, you're going to want to use a loofah, and this is going to start the exfoliating process. I always use a loofah to wash my body. This loofah in particular was $2. It is by Ecotools. I've gotten loofahs for $1. I'm sure you can find them for 50 cents. You can go to the Dollar Tree and find them for cheaper there maybe. If you can't afford a loofah, you can use a washcloth. I just feel like a loofah helps to really clean the entire body. So once you have washed your entire body with your loofah or your washcloth, then the next thing you're going to want to do is actually exfoliate. The product that I use to exfoliate is the Tea Tree or the Tree Hut Shea Sugar Scrub, and this is in the scent Coconut Lime. They have many different scents in this, and I think this tub is about $5, and you get 18 ounces in here, and that's really good. You will be able to get 4 to 5, maybe even more full body exfoliating uses out of this, and it smells really good. All I do when I use this is I take a really big glob in one of my hands, and I'll kind of rub it on both hands so I have the same amount of product on each hand, and I will exfoliate by section. So I'll exfoliate my bottom half of my leg, and then I'll go on and do the top half of my leg. I make sure that I really exfoliate my knees, my elbows, and like my knuckles and like hands really well, and also around my ankle area where the skin is a little more dry. Then I'll go in and I just do my entire body. I don't self-tan my face. If you want to self-tan your face, then you're going to want to get a different exfoliator for your face. I don't know if you want to use something scented like this on your face. Wow, I just said face a lot. But once you have exfoliated your entire body and you rinse that off, you will feel just how soft your skin feels. You want to make sure that that's completely rinsed off, finish your shower, you can get out, and then dry off. Before you go into your next step, you're going to want to make sure that your body is completely dry. Once your body is completely dry, then you can go in and do the next step, which is going to be to moisturize. This is a very important step. You want to make sure that your moisturizer is oil-free, and that is one thing that I really struggled with when I was in Walmart looking for a moisturizer. I really could not find one that was oil-free for your body. This is the Alba Botanica Hawaiian oil-free moisturizer. This was about $5. You get 3 ounces. I'm sure there are other moisturizers in Walmart or the drugstore or wherever else that you probably get more product in for a better price that are oil-free, but honestly none of the moisturizers were actually labeled as oil-free. Maybe they all are and they just don't state it, I don't know, but I really wanted to get one that said it on the front that it was oil-free because that's important. The reason it needs to be oil-free is because if it's not, your self-tan is going to slip and slide around and it's not going to last as long. Moisturizing is very important with a self-tan because if your skin is too dry, once your dry skin starts to flake off, your self-tan is going to go with that. So if your whole body is severely dry, you can moisturize your entire body. If your body is not severely dry, then the only places that you need to moisturize are your knees, around your ankle, your knuckles on your hands, and also your elbows. Once your moisturizer has completely soaked into your skin, then you are ready for the next step. And this step can be very nerve-wracking if you are a beginner. It was nerve-wracking for me, but after my first use, I was like, okay, that was totally fine. So the next products that you will need are obviously your your self-tanning mousse and your tanning mitt. The self-tanning mousse that I use that was actually in my favorites video this month is the St. Moriz Instant Self-Tanning Mousse. This is so amazing. You do not have to spend the money on the Loving Tan one. This is so good. This claims to be instant bronzing, long-lasting, fast-drying, and no streaks. All of those claims are completely true. Even though it may seem kind of intimidating that this dries almost instantly, I mean that in a way that it dries down and it doesn't like transfer on your hand and it doesn't slide around. But even if it has dried, you still will be able to go in and blend out areas that maybe didn't get blended out well enough. When I self-tanned the first time, I had one spot that looked like it could have been blended a little better, and I was already up at the top of my body, almost done, and I was able to still go in and blend that one area out, and it looked completely flawless. So even though it does dry fast enough that it's not going to transfer and slide around, you will be able to go back and blend out areas if you need to. So the self-tanning mitt that I used, which is on my hand right now, is the Ulta self-tanning mitt. This is obviously dirty. This was only $5, and this blended out my self-tanner so beautifully. You don't have to spend a fortune on a mitt either, and I was really worried this wasn't going to be good enough, but it had really great reviews. So the two of these combined isn't even $20. So that is half the price of just the Loving Tan self-tanning mousse. So girl, save your money and get these two products. One thing you want to really make sure of is that you start from the bottom and go up when you are self-tanning. And that is just going to help to prevent creases in areas where your skin just automatically creases. The first time that I did this, I did have to get help from my boyfriend to get the top half of my back. The second time that I did it, I was able to do it myself. It took a little extra time and effort. So you're gonna have to kind of go in like from all the angles that you can go in at to really get every single spot. But I was able to do it and it looked flawless. Like it didn't look streaky at all. This blends in so easily. All I do is I pump 1 to 2 pumps for each section of my leg. So I did 1 to 2 pumps, folded my mitt in half just so it was kind of evenly distributed on the mitt, and then I started on my bottom portion of my leg, like my calf, and it blended in within seconds. I mean, it was amazing at how fast it blended in. Once I do that, I'll take what's kind of left over on the mitt, and that's when I did my feet and my toe area. Once I've done the calf area, I'll go in and I do the top of my leg or my thigh. Then I will take what's left over on that portion and kind of slide it onto my knee. You want to try to put a little less product on your knee and your elbow and your knuckle and your ankle area, just because of how much drier the skin is there. And I found that just using what was left over was a really good enough amount of product to make everything look very even and seamless. So then, like I said, you just work your way up. Certain parts of your body will have to take a little bit more product, but just try it yourself. You know, start off with 1 to 2 pumps everywhere, and if you need more, then you can add more. As soon as I was done applying this, like I said, it dries almost instantly. Your skin doesn't feel goopy. This does have a little bit of a scent. It kind of smells like you just got out of a tanning bed, but that doesn't linger. It goes away. This particular product, it says works best if you wear it for 4 to 6 hours. I wear mine overnight. That's just the easiest thing. That is what I recommend to you guys. Apply your self-tanner at night after you have done all the other steps that I mentioned in the beginning, and then that way you can wear it overnight and get that really beautiful dark self-tan. I honestly will always buy the dark. I wouldn't even mind getting one that is a little bit darker than this, and I am very fair. I'm an NW15 in MAC foundations, and sometimes that is even a little bit too dark. So even if you're very fair, don't be intimidated. Even if you wear this overnight, you're not going to look crazy. You're not going to look like an Oompa Loompa. This is not an orange tan. The next thing that I do is I go in with baby powder, and this is a very important step as well. This I just found was really helpful in like the areas that fold or crease. Make sure that you get the baby powder that is talc free. It has aloe in it, and you can get a bottle, like a smaller bottle, for really cheap, like a couple bucks. You can get the even bigger bottle for like $6. I put mine in a little container just because it was easier for me to go in with a brush and then apply this to where I needed to apply it. The brush that I have is one that I got off of Amazon. This was like $1.50, I believe, and I just used it because it is one of my bigger brushes and it is extremely affordable. I totally recommend this to you for this particular use, and also if you just want to use it for makeup. I have 2 of these and I use it for my bronzer and stuff as well, or face powder. The places that I apply the baby powder are right in the folds of my arms. I applied it in my armpits and even along the under part of my arm that kind of like touches on the side of my stomach. I also apply it to my entire neck because I have a couple lines in my neck that were looking a little bit visible just because they just crease there, which is normal. So if you go ahead and apply that to your neck, it will prevent that creasing from happening and that like line from happening. I also apply it in between like the back of my knees where my leg folds. Then I also apply it kind of underneath my butt cheeks, because that is where, you know, my butt lays on the back of my legs and there's a crease there. That isn't a spot that really anyone is going to see unless I was in a bathing suit, which I wasn't going to be, but I just went ahead and did it anyways, just so it was a nice and even application. I didn't get any streaks or lines there. And then I also applied it in between my breasts and underneath my breasts. I don't have large boobs, but if I was going to be sleeping on my stomach, then I thought I might end up getting some lines there. So just go ahead and apply it in that area. And then if you have any rolls on your stomach, which, let's be real, most of us have rolls on our stomach. So I applied it kind of all over my stomach, but mainly in the areas where I know my stomach usually creases or I have like kind of rolls there. So don't be embarrassed by your rolls, girl. And then I also applied it kind of in like my pelvic area and in between my legs where I know my legs would be rubbing and where I may get some creasing. If I, you know, if you cross your legs, then you're gonna get a little bit of a crease in that pelvic area at the top of your leg. So just apply it in all of those places so that way you don't have to worry about getting any sort of creasing, lines, or unevenness going on. Baby powder is perfect for that. You can use any loose face powder that you have. The only reason why I say baby powder is because, for one, that's talc free, so it's totally fine to use, and you're also going to get way more for your money than if you buy a face powder. But if you don't have any baby powder on hand, just use one of your translucent loose powders that you have, and that will work just fine. Once you have done all of these steps, then you're ready to just go to bed, because by then your self-tan has dried down, sunken in enough that you can lay down. You're going to want to make sure that you lay on a towel, especially if you have white sheets, because you don't, this is going to rub off a little bit throughout the night. It's not going to completely rub off. You're not going to have streaks or anything, but some of it is going to come off. So just make sure you lay on a towel or a blanket that you maybe don't care about getting messy. And by morning time, you'll be ready to get in the shower and just kind of rinse the residue off of your skin, and any scent that is still there will be gone after you shower. What I personally did to make sure that my tan lasted even longer was I just rinsed my body off with hot water. I honestly did not wash my body anywhere except for areas like my pits and downstairs that needed to be washed. Everything else I didn't. I just rinsed it off and I was totally fine. You may think that's gross, but I don't see any problem with it. And that way I ensured that I wasn't gonna scrub any of my self-tanner off. If you absolutely have to wash your entire body, I would recommend, for one, using something that's oil-free, that isn't abrasive or isn't going to exfoliate your body at all. And you already shaved your legs, so you don't have to worry about doing that. And then just use your hands to wash your body, because that way you're not gonna scrub any of the self-tanner off. When I self-tan, it's typically for an event or something that I have going on. So, you know, once I have gone to that event, then I'm a little less careful about washing my body. When I self-tanned, it was for my graduation and my boyfriend's graduation and our party that we had. So after that party, I went ahead and I started washing my body again with my loofah, and I found that my tan still lasted like about 2 weeks. It definitely started to fade on like my hand area and by my wrist, just because of me washing my hands all the time. It faded really beautifully, like it didn't look streaky anywhere. The only place that you could really see like that stark line of where it was fading was on my hand, and that's just kind of inevitable. I got a lot of compliments on it. A lot of people said that it looked very natural. They asked if I had a spray tan. It didn't look orange, and I actually ended up doing 2 layers. I applied my first layer on a Wednesday night, and then obviously showered the next morning, and then Thursday night I applied my second layer, and I didn't exfoliate before I did my second layer, and I did not shave before I did my second layer. I actually have researched that it's better to exfoliate at least 24 hours before you apply your self-tanner, just because they say that some of those exfoliators will leave a film on your skin. I didn't find that exfoliating immediately before I applied my self-tanner that there was any issues. My tan still lasted really beautifully. So that's why I figured that applying that second layer without exfoliating and shaving again, I was fine. I mean, my hair hadn't grown back. My skin still felt really smooth. So that second layer went on really nice. It didn't look super heavy in different areas. It still looked completely flawless. It definitely made me a couple shades darker, and I really loved how tan I looked. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, girl, how are you so tan? And I was like, self-tanner, girl. So yeah, I totally recommend this. It looked really beautiful on the skin. I think if you follow all of these steps and use these products, that your tan will look absolutely flawless, absolutely beautiful. It doesn't have to be a stressful experience. I promise you, after you do it the first time, you'll be like, okay, that's not even that big of a deal. It's so easy, especially with these products. And another thing that I forgot to mention is that I did moisturize. After I showered, after that first layer the next morning, I did apply this moisturizer all over my entire body. And moisturizing is going to help your tan last even longer. But like I said, make sure it is an oil-free moisturizer. But I think that's everything you need to know to achieve a flawless self-tan. I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys, and I hope that I didn't forget to mention anything. I'll go ahead and insert the total of all of these products somewhere on the screen. That includes the loofah, the razor, the baby powder, the brush, everything. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you decide to use any of these tips. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I do post 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes more if I'm having a lot of time on my hands. I do mostly product reviews and a lot of dupe videos and things like that. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it on any of those. And I really hope to see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.